ರಮೇಶ್, ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ಅವರು ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ಕೆ
ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ,
ಅದು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಅದು ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಟು, ಅದು ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಯಾವ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್?
ಅವ್ರ ನೇಮ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ನೇಮ್
ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಎಚ್ ವಿ ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ನಾಯ್ಕ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾರ್ ವಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ನನಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ಸರ್ದು
ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ನಾಯ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ
ಏನ್ ಹೆಸರು ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸುಧಾ ಕಾಮತ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಏನ್
ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ನಾಯ್ಕ್, ಸುಧಾ ಕಾಮತ್ ಅಲ್ಲ,
ಅದೇ ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ನಾಯಕ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನ್ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಸ್ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಸರ್, ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ಹೇಳಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಸರ್.
ಅದೇ ಅವರು ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ನಾಯಕ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದಾರಂತೆ. SUDHAKR ನಾಯಕ್ NAYAK.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಅದಾ ರಮೇಶ್ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ರಮೇಶ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಟು ರಮೇಶ್.
ಅವರದು ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಲೆಟ್ ಏನೋ ನಂಬರ್ ಬಂದಿರಬಹುದು.
ನಾನು ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಅದು ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಹೌದು.
ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಯಾವ ಫೋನ್ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ರೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೋಬಹುದು.
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ.
ಓಕೆ,
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಫೋನ್ ನಂಬರ್
ಸರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ದೆಮ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ರೈಸ್.
ಫೋನ್ ಡಸಂಟ್
ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ನಾನು ಮಾಡಲಿ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಝೂಮಿಗೆ ಹೋದೆ, ಲಿಂಕಿನ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಏನೋ ಕೇಳ್ತದೆ. ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಏನೋ ಕೇಳಿದೆ. SVAK ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ರಾ ಸರ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಲೆನೋವೋ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ರಮೇಶ್, ಲೆನೋವೋ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ 410 ಕೇಳಿ. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಕೋಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ ನಾನು.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, SVAK ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಸರ್ದು ಸರ್.
ಇನ್ನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ.
ಲೆನೋವೋ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ 4 ಅಂತಿದೆ, ಅದೇನಾ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಕೇಳಿ ರಮೇಶ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಲೆನೋವೋ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ 4 ಇವ್ರದ್ದು, ಇವ್ರದ್ದು
ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಬನ್ಕರ್.
ಓಕೆ. ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಅವರು ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಸಾರಿ ರಮೇಶ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಲೆಟರ್ಸ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಲೆಟರ್ಸ್ SVAK ಅಂತ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್.
ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ?
ಯಾವ್ದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೊಬೈಲಿಂದ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಇಂದ ಸರ್, ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಇಂದ?
ನಾನು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇಂದ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇಂದ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸರ್. SVAK ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಲೆಟರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ.
ಹೌದು, ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಝೂಮ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು?
ಝೂಮ್ಗೆ ಸರ್.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಬರೀ ಲೆಟರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕೋ ಬದಲಿಗೆ ಅಂಕೆಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ವಿನಃ ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಅಂಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದು ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಕೀಪ್ಯಾಡ್ ನ ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ.
ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಲ್ಲ ಅವರು?
ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಾನು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್ ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಒಂದೇ ನಿಮಿಷ.
ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಮಾರು, ಫಿಲಿಪೈನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್.
ಹಲೋ, ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್. ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ ಅವರೇ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಗೋಪಾಲ್ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್. ಇಂಥದ್ದು ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ವೆರಿ ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆನೆ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಗೆ, ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಆಪ್ಟ್. ನೀವು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. Very good.
Thank you very much, sir. With the support of our Radhakrishna sir and Subramanya sir. Yeah, and all the other teams, and including so many engineering colleges from your college institution, so many faculty members have joined.
Correct. They have joined. Yeah.
So we wanted to do it technical institutions. We have done it.
Sudhakar Nayak ಅವರದ್ದು ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಪ್ರಮೇಳ ಅಂತಾನೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಮಗಳ ಹೆಸರೇನು ಕೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮಗಳ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅವರು.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾರಂತೆ.
ಏನೋ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, ಸಾರ್ಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ?
69 ಆಯ್ತು ರಮೇಶ್, 69 ಆಯ್ತು.
ಎಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಸರ್ ನಾವು.
ಶಿವಣ್ಣ ಅವ್ರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ರಮೇಶ್.
ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿ.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಇವ್ರದ್ದು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ.
ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈವ್ ನೋ. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಒನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಆಲ್ ಟು ದಿ important webinar on NEP and technical education. After 36 years of education policy, there is a paradigm shift in India. Cabinet has approved the NEP recently. Karnataka will be the first state in the country to implement NEP. So in view of this, we wanted to organize series of talks. There was a talk on overview of National Education Policy recently by Sri Gaurisha. After that, we are organizing this. Today talk is basically on technical education. Later, after this talk, next month, we are going to organize one more talk on primary education. So I welcome you all. Let us start the program with the introduction of SVAK by Sri Ramesh. Over to Ramesh, please. Ramesh is State General Secretary of Swadeshi Vijnana, Andolana, Karnataka.
Yes, Namaskara Elrigunam. So it's my immense pleasure for me to introduce you all about the Swadeshi Vijnana Andolana Karnataka. Swadeshi Vijnana Andolana Karnataka is a Karnataka chapter of Vijnana Bharati. In all over India, it's an organization called Vijnana Bharati. The motive of our organization is to highlight the rich scientific heritage of our motherland, to blend the ancient knowledge with the modern science, and dedicated ourselves to bring our motherland in the forefront of the scientific and technological knowledges. It was started in September 15th of 2004. A day by day, SWAC is increasing its strength in the increasing of number of life members and strengthening its roots by number of district units in the state. And also there are two major flagship program from Swadeshi Vijnana Andolana Karnataka. That is, one is Kannada Vijnana Sammelana, which will be conducted on September 15th to 17th every year, which happens to be the birthday of Sir Vishwesharaya, who was first Bharat Ratna from Karnataka. Where this Kannada Vijnana Sammelana, all the deliberation of the scientific papers are presented only in Kannada languages. And it has been given the immense opportunity for our Kannada authors and Kannada writers, delegates, to present their views in Kannada. We have conducted so far 15 Kannada Vijnana Sammelanas in all over the Karnataka. Next will be, because of the pandemic situation, we could not able to conduct this year. Next year it will be conducted in Bengaluru University. That will be our 16th Kannada Vijnana Sammelana. And another major program is National Women's Science Congress, where only the women's members of all the delegates are women members from across the country. We have been given the opportunity to present the papers. So these two major programs, what we are conducting, National Women's Science Congress will be conducted in 7 to 9 November. It happens to be the birth anniversary of Bharat Ratna, Sir C.V. Raman and Madam Mary Curie, the two Nobel laureates. To remembering these two personality, we are conducting this seminar, National Women's Science Congress, where in these two seminars, as NEP has given an introduction of multidisciplinary subjects. So we have been constantly conducting these seminars, both Kannada Vijnana Sammelana and National Women's Science Congress, with the multidisciplinary subjects will be covered in this seminar. And it has been given immense opportunities for the both, as well as regionally as well as in the nationally, of these two programs. Also, we are also there are some other programs which have been popularly conducted across the country. There are National Ayurveda Congress, where we our Dhanvantari Vedike and the Ayush subjects, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha and Yoga, Naturopathy has been covered, and the National Ayurveda Seminar has been conducted. And also the Bharatiya Heritage Series of agriculture, engineering sciences, philosophy, psychology, all these subjects have been covered. So we have been our organization is a multidisciplinary organization. We have been conducting so many programs. So also we are the science of the subjects what we are covered is from Varaha Mihram to agriculture and the spiritual science to the life sciences. So we have been conducting, and we have two major Vedikes. One is Yo Vidyarthi Vedike and then Matru Vedike. Under these two Vedikes, we have been conducting several programs. And also, friends, we are Swadeshi Vijnana Andolana also planning to have a school programs and lecturers for the lecture series to the faculty members and many other people. My appeal to you all to join hands with us, achieving by this, becoming a members, and help us to take this organization to be the higher level to moving on this path. Thank you all for this opportunity and patience of hearing my words. I sincerely thanks, and also I welcome Dr. K.N. Subramanya sir, who is a principal of RV Engineering College, who will going to give us today's key speaker, the planning and implementation of NEP in technical institutions. I welcome you, Dr. Subramanyam sir, and also our today's program chief guest is Dr. Basaraj Banakar sir, who is also in a background of engineering background, was from hails from UBDT of one of the VTU's autonomous college from Davangere. Presently, he is a registrar of Davangere University, and also he is also a chairman of our Swadeshi Vijnana Karnataka Davangere chapter. I'll welcome you, Dr. Basaraj Banekar sir also.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ramesh. Thank you to all.
Yeah, I
Good evening, all.
Dr. Radhakrishna, who is monitoring of this program, and
Thank
Dr.
you.
Umesh of Bangalore, our Bangalore unit secretary, and Dr. H.S. Prakash, and Dr. Sudhakar Nayak, Dr. Shivanna, and our organizing secretary, our Govindaya. I welcome you, all of you, the people who have been participating from across the country as well as across the globe. The participations are from Philippines, Cuba, UK, Hong Kong, Sri Lanka, and even from Pakistan, and many other countries have been participating, and they have been looking to our program. I'll welcome you, all you people, for this our program. Hope this will be a good deliberation will going to happen. As our Radhakrishna sir mentioned that we will be going to have one more NEP program, and also I would like to give one more program by December 2nd, where we are going to conduct self-employment, why and how. It will be done by our SWAC only, 2nd December, with Dr. Sri Janardhan from Dharmasthala Siri Gramodhyega Samiti. So he will going to give a lecture on this. I welcome you all once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramesh. I request Dr. Umesh, who is a scientist from Philips and also secretary of Swadeshi Vijnana Andolana, Bengaluru unit, to introduce the honorable speaker and also the president. Over to Dr. Umesh.
Thank you, Radhakrishnan, sir. A very good evening to you all.
Good evening.
It's a great occasion. I have the pleasure of introducing the guests for today's evening. First, I would start with Professor Basaraj Banekar, who has magnanimously accepted to preside over today's program. Professor Banekar is a stalwart in teaching, in development, administration.
Voice cut ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ.
28 years. I try my best, Radhakrishna sir. Yeah, I'm trying.
Voice ಒಂಚೂರು ಕಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಎಂದೆ. Voice ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
Okay, I will continue, Radhakrishna sir. If it breaks, let's see how it goes. Professor Banekar is a stalwart in teaching or administration and has over 28 years of experience. He has served as professor and chairman of electrical and electronics engineering in UBT Davangere from 2014 to 2018. In December 2018, he took over as registrar evaluation at Davangere University, Karnataka. Under his able leadership, the 6th convocation of Davangere University was successful in 2019. From September 2019, he has been deputed by Government of Karnataka as Registrar Administration of Davangere University. Professor Banekar has over 175 publications in national and international journals and conferences. He has served as conference chair and invited keynote speaker in many of these conferences. He served as managing committee member and then as executive committee member for IST Andhra Pradesh section. He is a member of several distinguished organizations like IST, Institute of Engineers, and IEEE. He has actively guided 6 PhD students across the country currently. So he's also busy writing a book, Making Utilization of Electrical Engineering. We are very pleased to have you here, sir. Thanks for accepting our request to preside over the program.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce our speaker for today's evening, Professor K. Subramanya. Dr. Subramanya is currently working as principal of the College of Engineering, Bengaluru. He did his degree in industrial production engineering and then an MTech in industrial management and then an MBA with specialization in human resources and PhD in supply chain management. He has over 29 years of experience in the fields of teaching, training, consultancy, research, and administration. His academic and research expertise include operations management, supply chain, logistics management, modeling simulations, and many other areas. He has guided more than 100 UG PG projects and is actively involved in research and has guided several research scholars as well. He has published 46 technical papers in refereed national and international journals and has presented 81 abstracts in national and international conferences. And he has authored 9 book chapters as well. Since the last 3 years, He has coordinated several funded projects and also consultancy assignments for more than 20 crores at RV College of Engineering. And he has established several centers of excellence, example, macroelectronics, Internet of Things, computational genomics, and an incubation center, and many, many more. He has also been instrumental in signing MOUs with over 90 companies in India and 3 universities abroad for joint collaborations. He's a member of various statutory committees, both at national and state level, and is a serving member of several professional societies. As a naval administrator, Professor Subramanya is actively working on the implementation of NEP in technical education. He shared his knowledge on this subject through a series of lectures, and we look forward to hear from him today to benefit from his immense knowledge in this area. A very hearty welcome to you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, 1 minute, sir. Thank you, Dr. Umesh. I request Professor Subramanya to take over. I request all the audience to type questions or queries if you have, only in chat box. It will be asked to the speaker at the end of the speech. Thank you. Over to you, sir. Others, please mute yourself. All, please mute yourself.
Elrigu namaskara. Good evening to all of you. I hope you can see these slides.
Yes, sir. We can see.
Okay, fine. So my voice is also okay.
Clear.
Okay. So good evening to all of you once again. Let me thank Swadeshi, Vijnana, Andolana, Karnataka for giving me this opportunity to share my random thoughts. Why I'm telling this random is national education policy has come into force very recently, and I'm sure across the country people are all working day and night to look into understand it, and a lot of awareness programs are already happening. So maybe this evening I will also confuse with some of the other things also, so that if there is confused mind, I always feel that we start working together in a better way. So with that note, so let me give the planning and implementation of NEP in technical institution. My talk will not be covering any aspect of the NEP because I'm sure many of the webinars have already covered that. But before starting that, let me tell you basically the purpose of education we should try to understand. So the purpose of education is lifting person's vision to higher sides. This is very important. And everything, whatever has been given here, we should start questioning as it happened or not. So rising the person's performance to a higher standard, the building of a personality beyond its normal limitations. In fact, this is the main purpose of education. So if you look into one by one, and in some way or the other, some synonymous terms would be there in the national education policy also. And we can say that now, after so many years, we have realized that the education policy should meet the needs of the country. So to that extent, many things have been Indianized so that the local solutions we are trying to get, there is some word called as a globalization. It's called as global knowledge and local solutions. But we were doing all these days global knowledge and global solution. And many times the global solution might not have been applicable in our day-to-day lives here. So people across the country have realized that India is such a heterogeneous country. In fact, it is the other way around. Like if you try to find out a solution for India, actually it works in other countries. So, but whatever works in other country may not work here. I think that is a focus with which the education has to be taught. My focus today will be on the technical education. So as Professor Radhakrishna was telling that there is a lot of education policies which has come over the years, but this policy has taken 36 years from the previous policy to come. And there are a lot of things which people are expecting this policy, at least 3 to 4 years. People have put in a lot of effort to bring a final document. And obviously, it expects a lot of change to happen because man is a creature of habits and attitudes. And you know that any change bringing is not so easy. So as Charles Darwin has put it, is not the strongest of the species that survive, but one most responsive to change. In fact, it is said in the history that dinosaurs could not serve because it could not change, whereas ants could serve because it was responsive to change. So I think with that note, change is a very, very important word which you have to look into. So I will tell only 2 slides of the national education policy because whoever in the country is doing that, I don't want to miss them on the fundamental principle on which it has been built, which is called the vision of national education policy. And each word here is very, very important, which is more suitable to our country. So as I was telling you, vision is to envision an India-centered education system. Please underline this word, that contributes directly to transforming our nation sustainably. So you can imagine India-centered, sustainability, transformation, equitable, vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all. So they are expecting that from a quality education, we are in a position to build a sustainable society, equitable society, vibrant society with by transforming our nation. In fact, education should be one of the fundamental things to transform a nation. So I love this vision statement, but as some of us were talking before, it is just a baby step now. And in fact, they are told 2035. I'm sure that every word, if you want to meet here, definitely it's going to make take more time for people to understand and then start looking into it. My request to all the people is, let us not deviate on the fundamental principles of the vision of national education policy, which has been taught, because a lot of people have put in effort after a long time to make this vision statement. And again, the principle, the purpose of education, can you imagine, try to compare it, whatever the thought is to develop a good human being capable of rational thought and action. Look into all the stakeholders of education. Are we rational in our thought? Are we rational in our action? Are we having a compassion and empathy? Do we possess that? So, or has it been taught in education system? Courage and resilience is other one, because of the colonization, we have some of a slavery mentality for a long time. So have you built a courage to a student in our education system? Scientific temper is very, very important, because how much ever we talk about India-centered education, but all our students, because youth is a very important thing in our country, and every body in the world needs an Indian youth today. So obviously, other countries work on proposedly a scientific temper actually and creative imagination. In fact, I don't know whether I should say this or not. Many of our education system are a rote learning, and we are giving less time for people to think. The creative imagination, of course, with sound ethics and values. In fact, can we say that it is deteriorating, or it is at the same level, or is it is increased? I think based on the heterogeneity of the country, we can have a discussion only on these words, whatever you put here. But here the education policy says that you should try to build all these things in our education, starting from the primary education till the tertiary education. And of course, as a citizen of a country, we have a lot of responsibilities. Being a responsible citizen, we should have an equitable society, inclusive society. This inclusive could be urban, rural, male, gender, male, female. You can have different categories under this. And pluralistic society, that means by and large, we coexist with each other. And as envisioned by the Constitution, you can imagine even the Constitution has been brought into this education policy. I hope these are the 2 slides I have about the education system. And every word here has got a lot of meaning. And we can go on doing the research work in every one word here, so that over a period of 10 to 15 years or 2 to 3 decades, we can see something of these things have been achieved in our country. So with this fundamental principle and the vision of the national education policy, I am going to randomly give you some headings to you, and then try to tell, even before planning and implementation of an NEP, what are the things like, say, the environmental scanning you are supposed to do. Because many times our education system is inward looking, in the sense that if I ask any of the faculty to set the syllabus, maybe they go into the universities and try to take the best universities in the world, try to combine that and see what is suitable and make a syllabus. But we might not have looked into what is the local requirement, what is the government looking for from the education system. All these things were not there. So now a time has come for a vibrant India to look into what is needed in outside. So this environmental scanning is the one which I am going to tell what all the requirements in the globe, what all the requirements in the industries, what all the requirements as far as the country is concerned, nationally as well as internationally. When once you do that, so ours is an inward looking thing, because we do from inside and go outside and try to look at find out a solution, but a time has come now. We have to paradigm shift has to be done. We have to go out, get all the things and come back and try to design our syllabus. So I think this paradigm shift is very, very important. So that's why for some time, at least 15 to 20 minutes, I spend on what are the things which people have supposed to know if they want to formulate a syllabus, do a curriculum, outcome-based education, anything you're talking about, we are supposed to know this in advance. Otherwise, our students' employability will be an issue even after this national education policy, if you don't take the environmental scanning into consideration. So let me go one by one. So it is expected by 2030, as you know, that the building blocks of higher education is curriculum and pedagogy, faculty, research, partnerships and collaborations, infrastructure, with a foundation of funding and governance and leadership. So these are the 6 to 7 parameters you are supposed to see. And this is in fact, there is a beautiful document which was done by Fickey sometimes back with Ernest and Young. And it's a good book, which I put only one slide out of that book. And this was decided sometimes back with all the people in the higher education. So that's why I'm telling you, before even formulating the national education policy, people have looked into a lot of things. So I'm trying to put what are the things we would have looked into, because we also should know so that we can try to put into the practice. So they're expecting by 2030, why we don't get Nobel Prizes? Why at least 5 to 6 Nobel Prize in the next 15 years should not come to India? I think that's the way people are talking about, because people say that we have potential to do it, whereas somewhere I can say the convergence is not happening in whatever we are supposed to do. So the building blocks would be the curriculum, faculty, research, partnerships, infrastructure, funding, and governance and leadership. So education and leadership, the funding, all these things are different topics, but I'm sure that I'll be covering 1 or 2 topics in this, because as a faculty, I'm sure many of the people are faculty here. I don't touch on the administration part actually, because if you want to talk about the academic administration of the new education policy, in fact, the implementers would be the state government. State government has taken initiative. They have started looking into it. So if I'm trying to look at administration, I feel I need some more time, maybe 1 or 2 months when things become more clear. But in a long term, being the faculty members, our job is to look into what is needed in academics and what is needed in research, because this will take a long time to make the planning and the implementation. So if we can start working, then parallelly other things will join with us. So this is the vision for 2030, and these are the building blocks, and everyone becomes very, very important here. In fact, people keep asking me, research and academics, we should go together, it should be different. What is the take on these things? So let me tell you, academics and research are the 2 faces of the same coin. Maybe in the beginning, people who join can look into good academics, then parallelly start doing into the research work. In fact, it is, we can call it as, let us say, Y. If you take a Y letter, what happens is, one side is the academics, other side is the research. So maybe slowly you start doing into academics, then do the research, then join it. And if you are very good, then you can take the path whatever you want. So with that vision, this would be very, very important for people to work for plan, either for the university or for the individual institutions. These things play a very, very important role. Based on this, if I'm sure that many people in the country would have written the strategic planning documents for their institutions, for the universities. This would have been written maybe 2 years back, 3 years back, before the national education policy would have come. Now, my sincere request to all would be that please revisit the strategic planning documents, and what are the points I'm telling today would be definitely helpful for redefining or readjusting your strategic plan for the next 10 years. So if you do that, then it will be very much helpful to you. Next, so as all of people speak that we generally, we don't get connected with the industry. I think that's the biggest complaint everybody says. But today, so industry 4.0 is there. And what are the areas? So I'm talking to engineering college faculty members, maybe to some extent for MBA, also the management of all these things will be very much helpful, but my talk would be more on the technology focus. So people are looking for all those things. Like say, all these are the buzzwords. Even though it's a buzzword, let me tell you, all the industries have already started using it, starting from the multinational to the national companies. Already they started using it. So it could be the cloud computing, additive manufacturing, which comprises of the 3D printing, then augmented reality and virtual reality, industrial IoT, are also called as a cyber physical system. Then across the supply chain, people talk about the horizontal, the vertical system integrations. Simulation has gone to the highest level. 3D simulations, robotics, you talk about the area, We have a lot of things already. The things are going on even in our country also. Cyber security, big data analytics. This is what is expected in Industry 4.0. And please, whenever I am showing any slide, I request the faculty members to map what all the things you are teaching as of now in your institutions or the universities. See what all the things related to these things are we having or not. If we don't have this, we have to compulsory include this. Otherwise, in the next, this year a student joins, he is going to get a job only after 3 or 4 years. Obviously, if he doesn't study these things, then what is going to happen is employability will still be a problem. The fundamentals will not change. Your Ohm's law, Newton's law, all those things have to be taught, it will remain. But the application of all these things have to be looked into based on the industry's requirement. So this is Industry 4.0. When people talk about Industry 4.0, already some developed countries are talking about Industry 5.0. So we are not still started using 4.0 in many places, but people talk about 5.0. See, what is the fundamental difference between 4.0 and 5.0 is when Industry 4.0 came, people thought that, okay, it will all be done by automated equipments or autonomous systems or the robots. So then they had apprehension that, okay, people are going to lose the job. I think that is even today people talk in India about that. If total automation happens, people are going to lose the job. So then suddenly people woke up and they thought, okay, this should not spread a negative message, even though it has got a lot of things. Then they started with a Industry 5.0. The main difference in a Industry 5.0 and 4.0, even though there are a lot of other things which are there, which I'll not go into details. So they look into the cognitive part, cognitive cyber physical systems. So that means putting brain. That's where machine learning and artificial intelligence are going into picture. And then human and machine interface. In 4, they were talking only about robots. In fact, in 5, they talk about cobots. Cobots means collaborative robots. In fact, they along with the human beings, they try to work. So now then what happens? The labor or the job opportunities may not go, but as long as people don't develop the skills, reskill, upskill, if they don't do it, obviously jobs will not be there. But people who can upskill and reskill, definitely the jobs would be there in the industry for such either younger generations or for the professionals who are already working. So this is the main difference between Industry 4.0 and 5.0. Again, go back, think over what all things we are teaching in our education system. Or in bits and pieces are we teaching, or you have a separate program on this, you are doing it, what we are doing. So because when you go to the industries, it's all deliverables. So I cannot go and say in bits and pieces and try to sell myself. It's not possible. So this is Industry 5.0. Next, see, always some countries like Japan are always ahead of us because they use the automation for many of their manufacturing things or in the industrial era for at least for last 10, 15, 20 years, they may be using. In fact, I saw the automation would have done somewhere in 1970 or 75 in Japan. Now, what is their problem now? Their problem is that Japan is becoming an aged society. And now, even though they have technology, there are no people. So they need more of the, the requirement of the automated equipments. And in Japan, they have started using all these automation technologies like IoT, AI, robotics, all those things for the medical field or the healthcare, since the people are becoming old there. In fact, they say a person goes to a job, he has an aged mother in the house. I think the total house is automated. A robot will take care of the mother in the sense at 11 o'clock, you're supposed to give the tablet. And then at 2 o'clock, you have to give lunch. Also things are taken care. So Society 5.0, in fact, Japan government released this some 2.5 to 3 years back, I suppose. And they look at using all the Industry 4.0 or 5.0 kind of things to the application of the application to the society, in particular in the medical and the healthcare sector. So that is the Society 5.0. In fact, some of the Japanese companies are coming to our college and they look at the applications. If somebody says, I'm a computer science engineer, they ask, okay, are you having, let us say, artificial intelligence machine learning? They want to apply to prepare a Japanese food. That's the way they look at. So they want to use AI and machine learning food for such things. In fact, there are 2 to 3 companies every year. They take around 5 to 6 students for a job in Japan itself. So like that, now our students are going to be globally serving in many of the countries. So obviously, we are supposed to take care of that. And as you know, that other kind of environmental scanning would be, there is Vision 2035 document which has been done under the chairmanship of Anil Kakodkar sometimes back. And there is our national requirement here. What are the national requirements or the grand challenges? Are we teaching students all those things, or are we guiding projects in this area? If you start looking into this, then it will be helpful even for the country. Guaranteeing nutritional security and eliminating female and child anemia is one of the grand challenges in India. Ensuring quantity and quality of water in all rivers and aquatic bodies. Securing critical resources commensurate with the size of the country. Providing learner-centric, language-neutral. I think the education minister has recently talked that in local language it has to be taught. In fact, there are pros and cons people are talking about, but they want to have a language neutral and holistic education for all. By 2035, they want to achieve this. Already it is there in the mind of the people. Understanding national climate patterns and adopting to them. Then making India non-fossil fuel based. Taking the railway to Leh and Tawang. Ensuring location and ability independence, electoral and financial empowerment. Developing commercially viable, decentralized and distributed energy for all. Ensuring universal eco-friendly waste management. So please, my dear colleagues, go back and look into it, what we are teaching. Even for the national requirement, are we meeting at least, I can't say everybody can study all the things here. At least if one branch or 2 or 3 branches can join together and meet, let us say, making a non-currently energy source as the most important thing, we'll be serving one grand challenge at least. So we should teach the younger generation this way of solving a societal problem. That's why I told, go back to the society and come back. So have that outward looking kind of a thing, and then try to set the syllabus or your curriculum. Then I think our students will understand things in a better way. So these are the grand challenges. Next, in fact, these grand challenges were made based on the grand challenge of United States of America, which was done sometimes back actually. These are the grand challenges they have showed for next 100 years in USA. And obviously whatever I told has been put in this forum. So many people across the world have done, I tried to compile all these things and put it here. But the net message would be that these are the areas which people are looking for. Not only we think it's only in India, actually it is not. It is there for, in fact, if you take in the developed countries, point number 11, it says securing the cyber security is more for them than for us today, actually. So the virtual reality, nitrogen cycle managing, clean water, energy from fusion, advanced informatics, then engineer the tools for scientific discovery, make solar energy economical, develop carbon sequestration methods. These are the challenges that have been put forth by American Society of Engineers. And let me tell you, I have put some arrow marks and some titles I have written. In fact, these grand challenges have been mapped. There was an article in Industrial Engineering America, and I have taken from, I am basically an industrial engineer. So I tried to put, if I want to teach students grand challenges, what are the courses I am supposed to take? For example, optimization, then let us say materials, global safety, then product design, economics, energy management, health informatics, human factors in engineering, sustainability. So these are the subjects I'm supposed to teach if I want to link 2 to 3 kind of the areas. So based on the national education policy, industry 4.0, what all things I'm going to explain. Please try to map all these things. This is the huge task which you have to do, which may take, according to me, 6 months to 1 year, based on the program, whatever you're talking about. So if you try to do that, then the purpose of our higher education becomes good. Obviously, all of you know, so this is the international requirement, wherein India is also a part of all those things. Sustainability is one of the models, even in fact, which is told in the vision of the national education policy. Anything, whatever is the world is looking for, these things are even there for India also. 17 goals, even though it is set by United Nations. In fact, every country can work in this area. Actually, this also has got something to play with this grand challenge, what has been given in USA also. So there'll be some superimpositions or intersection points in all these things. But everybody is looking from different angles. United Nations Sustainability Goal looks at something at a overall perspective in the international forum. And maybe grand challenges in America may be looking at their country. Maybe the grand challenge Vision 2035 is looking at India. But the important thing would be whatever has been given here in one form or the other, you can go back and check the national education policy under the higher education section. It will be definitely there. So these are the other things. In fact, sustainability development goals and 21st century skills are very frequently used in our national education policy. So now go back now, look into it. What are the kinds of courses we have to teach to the students? What are the kinds of labs we are supposed to develop? What are the kinds of projects students have to do so that they meet these requirements? Because I'm sure many of you would be doing research project, consultancies, even the DST, whoever calls for the research proposals, all these things are the important points. So if you can try to do that for our students, it will be very good. And next, what is happening in the education field? In the education field, we call it as education 4.0. What happens is everybody talks about pedagogy. So there are three things. In fact, pedagogy is a primary education. Pedagogy, andragogy, heterogogy. There are three levels. Heterogogy is nothing but self-directed learning. What is happening is when a student comes from a primary to secondary education to a tertiary education, even our tertiary education is like a primary education in the sense that, again, we say textbook, we spoon feed, we give notes, we give same questions in the examination, same questions in the test, but at the end of the day, his learning would not have happened. I'm not telling for all the faculty, I mean, all the students, but majority is not happening. If you take a normal distribution, there may be extraordinary students who may be definitely doing very well. In fact, better than a teacher, they may do it. But we talk about the normal distribution whenever we talk about all those things. So have we developed in students so that he will do the things, and if you just give him the direction, he should be in a position to learn in a better way. In fact, in my college, I always tell the faculty, if you're teaching for 50 hours, don't teach for 50 hours. You are supposed to teach only for 20 hours. 30 hours, you have to jointly work with the student and bring a self-directed learning in him. Do through project, do through experiential learning, then things are going to become all right. So what is Education 4.0? As you know, I think many of these things have very quickly happened because of the pandemic. COVID-19, whatever we have seen. Let me tell you, our digital learning, whatever we have done in, whatever still we are doing it actually, maybe starting from March, April, till today, maybe it may go up to December, January also. The kind of online kind of a thing which people are talking about, if in a normal circumstance, if you wanted to do this in our country, it would have taken minimum 5 years. But I think COVID, it has got all the disadvantages, it should not come everything, but COVID also has opened up a lot of opportunities even for the education field. In fact, this is the time almost all the faculty, almost all the students have learned how to be digital. Otherwise, this should not have happened. So let us thank for this during this time. So Education 4.0, already we are implementing some anytime, anywhere. I think my faculty takes the class at 9 o'clock. They are sitting in Delhi, Calcutta. And to some extent, personalization still is not happening. It is still a group exercise, but I think slowly we can look into it. Flexible delivery, we have to do a lot of work in this. Peers and mentorship has to be done. Why, where, not what and how. And practical explanation, this I will come to this a little bit later. I think there's a lot of scope for improvement in this area. That's why they say engineers are not suitable for the industry, just because of the fact that we have to enhance more on the practical applications for the students. It should be modular and project based. Student ownership should be there. Because what happens, father likes, mother likes, he wants to do engineering, but the student likes, let us say, medical, he likes literature, but because of the peer pressure and all the things, he may come here and he may not do well. Student owners and ownership is very, very important. And of course, everybody in the world comments about our examination system. Let us try to look into that after some time, how to make evaluation and assessment instead of examination. So this is what is Education 4.0 is talking about. And again, other input for you would be, this is what is expected from a 21st century engineers. I am sure that many of the faculty here who are seniors or in the middle age, always majority of the people get irritated with the present generation. But present generation, let me tell you, they're in a different frame of reference. Let us try to understand. Don't always try to compare present student with when we were studying, when our father was doing play. Let us not do that, because they are good in some things. We were good in something. But whatever they are not good at now, let us try to build. Because their way of life, their style of life, their professional life, their personal life, all these things are different. It's not like us. So first, let us accept that fact. So what is expected in the 21st century skills? First would be the learning skills. It is called as 4 C's: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. There are further details in that. I will not go into it. Literary skills is information, media, and technology. And life skills, flexibility he needs, adaptability he needs, leadership quality has to be developed, initiatives have to be brought from him, productivity has to be enhanced, and the social skills have to be developed. This is what is expected. Now, directly, National Education Policy says that we are supposed to prepare students for the 21st century skills. And this slide and the Sustainable Development Goals slides are very, very important. And if you want to implement, I think education 4.0 becomes important. So there are a lot of planning tools here as well as the implementation tools. So how do you make use of it? Depends on the institutions, depends on the location where you are. I cannot give a general medicine like a paracetamol for all those things. It is just like a COVID, how it is going to act on the different human beings. The whole of our education system should be made more custom based now, based on Mangalore needs some kind of a focus. Bengaluru may need some type of focus, even though the fundamental knowledge, everything remains the same. But the way it is executed based on the geographical location, need of the society, need of the local land would be very important. Now again, go back, look into the things like, say, 21st century skills, how we are trying to imbibe in students. It's not just, okay, calling some placement activities, give training in placement, try to develop all these things. It doesn't happen like that. It should be a natural course of action. It should be there in every engineering course. It should be there in your management course, and it should come as a natural course. See, first of all, critical thinking. Why there should be a separate session for critical thinking, I don't understand. Critical thinking is a part of every subject in engineering. So what are the type of problems he is trying to solve? Is it a global problem, a local problem? Has he understood the problem correctly? Critically, has it been evaluated? So these things should be part of every course of faculty teachers. So it cannot be like, I will come to one more slide, which is very important, what we are doing in education. So let me go to the, so these are the environmental scanning, which I was talking about. And I am sure that some of would have been knowing about these things, but I try to put in one way. If you do all this environmental scanning, which is already available to all of us, go back and look into the things, and then let us look into the outcome-based education, which is one of the most important things. Even as far as the accreditation councils, we have already started that. But now this will have more meaning, because even the outcome-based education is understood by different people in different way. But this education policy is going to give a momentum to us to understand these things in a better way. So what is outcome-based education? As you know that as of now, learning is important. It's not just teaching. There is one statement called as we are teaching or they're learning. I think that statement holds good here. So an outcome-based education expect the learning, and all the environmental scanning things, whatever I told, he should be in a position to solve that particular kind of a problem. This I am sure I will not spend much time, because I am sure many of the institutions in the country are going for accreditation or the NEP. And in all these things, this outcome-based education is very common now. But as of now, let me tell you, to some extent, curriculum might have been set, course outcomes, all those things are there. Learning and teaching has started, but assessment has not still come, because we are stuck to still examination system only, but assessment is something different. So we are doing bits and pieces in all these stages. And this is very important for me, because new education policy says that multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary is very, very important. As you know, come from down top. If you look into it, all of our departments are working in silos. There is a thick wall which are set for at least 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 60 years. A mechanical student will not know what is there in civil. A civil student will definitely not go towards electronics department, and electronics people will never go towards biotechnology and things of that sort. We are all working in very silos. It applies to both students as well as to the faculty members. So now what happens, the next level would be multidisciplinary. Slowly people have started looking into multidisciplinary. Multidisciplinary is additive. I'll give a simple example. In an engineering colleges, we are made to teach intellectual property rights. So IPR is one of the course. It is an additive course. What happens in IPR? IPR is given a focus of the law. Maybe a law teacher may be teaching in the college, but IPR also has got an engineering focus. There may be one faculty who may have got 5 patents with him. He would have never taught this subject. So that's how I call it an additive. It is studied as an additional subject, but it is not inculcated into a particular. That is where the next step comes, called as the interdisciplinary. According to me, if a IPR has to be taught, there is a legal angle to that. There is a scientific angle to that. Scientific angle has to be taught by a scientist or an engineer, and the legal aspect has to be taught by a lawyer. Is it happening? Let us all think over. I will not question whether it is happening or not. We ourselves know the answers for that. So if we can do that, that becomes interactive. So whole of our courses, let us say mechatronics is a course. It has to be taught 2 hours by electronics faculty and 2 hours by mechanical faculty. Again, what happens? We have seen, we have asked these people to do it, but he comes and does the electronic portion. He doesn't come to the mechanical portion. It's still additive only. but it has to become interactive. These two faculty have to understand each other in a better way and then start making it more interactive. That is what is expected. New education policy is more focused either in education, research, whatever the activities we are doing, it should be multidisciplinary, and next level would be interdisciplinary. And of course, if you look at the higher level synthesis, the society, whatever the solution you are trying to provide, it should be transdisciplinary. I think it is a borderless when you go to the society. There may be an environmental group, there may be the bureaucrats, there may be government, there may be engineers, whatnot. Everybody is trying to put when you are trying to solve a problem. So the last level, in fact, our societal level problem would be solved by using the transdisciplinary approach, which is a synthesis, which coming from down top. If you try to come and try to inculcate all these things in 4 years, I'm telling you, our students will be, in fact, they're very intelligent. Let me tell you, let us not, in fact, many places people say that he is not good, other things, but I don't appreciate that, because our students are very good. Because when they are doing a lot of things, when they go outside, why not here? It is because we are supposed to create a good ecosystem. I think this new education policy is trying to create that ecosystem so that they can be solving the societal problem. If somebody has to solve a societal problem, it should be definitely transdisciplinary in nature, and high level synthesis has to happen. And then, so now what happens is, this is the one innovation which I have done actually. So I have already talked about education 4.0, industry 4.0, and then 21st century skills. Let us take these 3, 4. Along with, you can also take society 5.0. You can take Bloom's taxonomy, whatever you want to take. And now what has happened is, already all the engineering institutions in the country has something called the program outcomes. Instead of redefining all those things, my approach should be, let us say, take all the program outcomes and try to map to all the program outcomes on all these skills, whatever is needed. In fact, this is the first job we can do it. Otherwise, what happens? 21st century skills separately you have to teach, industry 4.0 separately. Education, it is not like that actually. If you take, for example, let us say, I think they are given some arrow marks, a lot of work has to be done in this area. Let us look into, let us say, 21st century skills. There is some part called as an ethics, which is already the 8 point in the program outcome. In fact, 12 outcomes, what we talk about has been clearly defined. And you talk about the education 4.0, it comes under modern tool usage. It could be either for a software, it is for a digital learning and things of that sort. If you talk about sustainability, engineer and society is going to come into picture. So communication, I think everywhere communication becomes very important. Solving a complex problem, that's where your industry 4.0 may be helpful. Design and development of the solutions, that's where the AI and machine learning would be helpful. So I think I have started working in this. It may take another 3 to 6 months for me to map all these things and put it into one place, because I don't want to reinvent the wheel, because program outcomes have been already defined. We have gone for NBA multiple times, many institutions. Let us try to put all this.
Sir, it is muted. Sir, it is muted. Please unmute. Sir, KNS.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the first, I think, those faculty who are looking for new education policy or national education policy, please can you look into mapping this first? I'm sure all of, either you're a tier 1 college, tier 2 college, or university, all of you will be able to have these program outcomes. So can you map all the things, environmental scanning things, whatever I told, under this first? This is the first job you have to do. And then from program outcome, go to the course outcome, then go to the course syllabus. If you do it in reverse way, things are going to become very easy. Otherwise, what happens? It is like, say, you do the course and try to fit it here. It will not fit actually. So you come from the other way, from the external thing, and try to fit. So this is one exercise, I think, in the planning stage, every institution has to do it, so that we'll be to the present, and we'll be meeting the requirements of all the agencies, are also meeting the requirements of the national education policy, what is expected out of us. Then, of course, Bloom's taxonomy is a total part, because the first 3 are called as the lower level, lower order thinking, and the next 3 would be the higher order thinking. Of course, in one way or the other, this is related to the examination, assessment, the way they learn. Bloom's taxonomy is defined. Our education should move to level 5 and level 6, because we are always in level 1 and 2, remembering and understanding, mugging up, memorizing, rote learning. That's what they say. These are the first 2 levels. Maybe sometimes you may go to the 3rd level, but maybe as of now, creation, evaluation would be somewhere in projects, they may do it. But even the new education policy expects that these higher order level skills have to be developed. So this is the total focus on the outcome-based education we have to look into. So when we do this, let us say there are 200 students in a class. What's the way we are teaching in a rote learning? It's only one-way communication because there is a heterogeneity in the class already. A person has more ability, a person doesn't have more ability. He is good in something, he's not good in something else, but my teaching is same level for 1 hour, 2 hours, we keep on doing it. But this kind of classification of learners have been done long time back even for the schools. But I thought some of these thoughts could be taken into consideration. It may not be possible for us to include this in every course what we do. At least can we experiment? Because if I talk about the students, there may be sensing and intuitive learners could be one category. Sensing learners would be like learning facts, dislike complications and surprises, patient with details and good at memorization, and they are practical. Intuitive learners would be like to discover possibilities, tend to work faster, better at grasping new concepts, and they are innovative in nature. This is one category. Similarly, visual and verbal learners best remember what they see, like pictures, diagrams, films, and demonstration. You can imagine, even we are come under this kind of a category. So then verbal learners best remember words, written and spoken explanations would be other category. Next other category would be active and reflective learners. Learn best by using something active with it. Let us try out and see how it works. Like group work. Some people like group work, some people like individual works. Reflective workers are like, say, learn best by thinking about it quietly first. Let us think it through first. Prefer working alone. I am sure generally in any institution, the toppers who get good marks, no, they generally don't gel with the other kind of students. They'll be alone because he's brilliant. He does everything on his own. He's a reflective learner. But the industry doesn't only need a reflective learner. It also needs the active learner, because when he goes there into the industry, he has to work in a team. So sequential and global learners. So gain understanding in steps, follow steps to find solutions, and he is logical. And then global learners are absorb information randomly, then suddenly get it, can solve complex problems quickly, but not able to explain how they did it. So this classification also, I thought, since we are trying to change our patterns of doing all the things in our education system, can we look at making a survey and try to find out to the students which category these people come to? There may be 1 or 2 combinations. A people may be active, he may be sequential, he may be a, let us say, a sensing kind of a person, and he is a visual learner. So there may be more than one combination here. At least what can be done is, if I know a group of people under these categories, I can give a similar work. Some people learn theory and then practice they do. Some people want to learn practice and then go for theory. Both are possible. So in that way, can you make a group and give such students project only in that area? For these students who are research-oriented, theoretical-oriented, you can give only the research-oriented problems. So if you can make this classification, I am sure that I don't say 100% will satisfy, because the heterogeneity is very huge. But if we can start in our projects, assignment, experiential learning, I'm sure we can definitely look into this kind of learning. So learning can happen in different way. Otherwise, what happens? That fellow, see, let me tell you, in my college, last year, one student got the highest salary of 55 lakhs. Okay, he's only 8.75 is CGP out of 10. But 9.5 fellow could not do it. But he got the highest salary. So then what is the logic? Is it only 9.5 or 9.6 CGPA? But this 8.75 fellow was a global learner. He was a, let us say, an active learner. So that combination was there in that person. That's how he could reach to the higher heights. So if you can identify this in the first year itself and try to mold them and try to move to the higher levels, I am sure that the job of a teacher would be done, rather than 50 hours only doing same thing repetitively. And at the end of the day, faculty is not happy because student is not coming to the class. Student is not happy because he's not understanding anything. So it's a lose-lose situation for all. So let us try to look into the newer ways of doing things so that things can work in a better way. And as you know, that communication is very, very important in the teaching learning process. So what is the effort we are putting in the communication? Because the lifeblood in the teaching learning process. We see in many places, even the faculty members have to improve a lot in all these areas. Communication means, see, there's a good communication and effective communication. I'm talking about effective communication. It's not using high sounding words, but whatever you say, are you conveying things in a better way? Let it be simple English, it doesn't matter. So I will give a simple example through which we can understand the whole of either in industry or in academia, we do these things. So actually what the customer described was this. What got budgeted was this, because finance department always wants to cut the budget. What the engineer design was this, because every people are different here. One is an engineer, other fellow is from finance, other fellow is from marketing. And the way they understand the same problem is in different way, because we all work in silos. So that is the reason I want to convey here. If you work in silos, this kind of communication is going to happen. Then how manufacturer install this is in this way. So manufacturer will not listen to designer at all, because he says, I got these resources, I understood this way, it start looking into it. And what marketing, so marketing people always in the highest level, I think then they have to sell their product in the market, no? So they say everything they provide like this. And what got documented was like this, because you know that we are very, very poor in documentation. So nothing gets documented of what all the things which happen. But as you know, what the customer finally received was this. So every department's idea has been put here, and whatever the customer was built for was for the customer has to pay very highly, but what he is getting is on the left-hand side. And actually what customer wanted was the tire with one rope. That's all. So this shows that every...
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes?
okay.
So every...
Yeah, there was mute, sir, that's why. Okay.
Okay. So every one of us should realize that this communication becomes very, very important. If you don't communicate correctly, either in your course, either with the interdisciplinary nature and what is the end product we are looking for, I think this is the way things are going to happen. So you have to be very careful. And of course, digital learning, hybrid learning, as I've already told you, we know that the learning has to be both offline as well as online. Since we are in the digital technology era now, I think these are all the things, all the institutions in the country would be using it. It could be in the online conduction of the tools, learning management tools, screen recorders, innovative teaching tools, online assessment tools. So one way or the other, jigsaw puzzle, if you make, I'm sure across the country, because of the pandemic, people have already started making use of it. But let me tell you, we are all doing by trial and error method. I think we need a lot of accuracy even in doing these things. I think with the digital and the hybrid learning, we can do a lot of things, because in future, according to 30 to 40%, even though the situation becomes normal, 30 to 40% would be online in nature. So in that way, the jigsaw puzzle and the best combinations, you can look into it. I'm not going to details of this. Hybrid learning model is this. What is hybrid? It's a combination of offline and online. What can be done in online, what can be done in offline through other means is the one which you have to look at. And this is the right time for us to form our curriculum based on this hybrid learning, because don't make the syllabus and then try to look into what is digital in this. Instead of because as of now, we have done that. Because we suddenly in March, we were told, okay, I have to do online. Faculty may have only handwritten notes, or he had a textbook Xerox copies. Some people would have some PPT material. Some people had half of PPT materials. So then suddenly you're asked to do, I think we are all done by trial and error methods. But it needs at least 1 year for any person who is doing a good course material to go do a hybrid model. So what should be online in this? What should be offline in this? So it's the right time for us to look into our curriculum design also and look into this hybrid modeling straight away. And there are some learning models. I think I will leave these slides actually with the organizers. Anybody would like to take it, please, you can have a detailed chat on these things. So you will look into level of collaboration versus level of activeness. Let's say video lectures, games, quizzes, all these things are passive and less collaborating. Class discussion, that's why they say offline learning is very important. Class discussion is more collaborative, but it is not active. But you have to move into the active learning mode. So the highest one would be, you can say the top rightmost corner would be active, level of activeness, and the collaboration is higher, is in the area of role playing, simulation, team context, workshops, group and panel discussions. So these are the things which are practical or experiential in nature. So can you map, you take your course, all the courses will not fit in all the things here. You take your course, take unit wise or what are the syllabus wise, see where each can be implemented and make a map like this. Then I'll tell you our way of effectiveness in teaching learning will be very good. And of course, irrespective of the branch of engineering, because of the need in the society, people have to do a lot of analytics. Data science is a huge area. There are a lot of models. People say that if it's genetic algorithms, artificial neural networks, they say it's a computer science subject. So I don't know coding. I don't want to do this. Actually, these are all the fundamentally done by mathematicians and OR specialists and the statisticians. All these tools are used for the application to your different branches of engineering. So you take a Markov decision, it can be applied for your medical field, it can be applied for a traffic problem, it can be applied for a manufacturing problem, it is possible. So try to learn these tools And let us teach these tools with practical applications, descriptive as well as a prescriptive model, because data science is a huge area today. Data science rests on all these models, whatever has been put here. I'm sure some models are studied only by computer science people here. Some people who study operations research, they study only that. Some people who study meta heuristics or the soft, what is called as the soft computing, those people only read this, but other people don't read it. But these tools are needed by everybody. So in the syllabus, I know that we have only 160 to 175 credits. People say how to put all these things. If you start teaching less, then all these things can be put. If you are teaching more, then these things cannot be put. So that is about the outcome-based education. Experiential learning part, you have to do a lot of innovation, collaborative learning, project-based learning, problem-based learning, web-based learning, computer-assisted learning, game-based learning. Please look into it. For your course, what is more suitable? Then it becomes very easy, or it could be a combination of all these things, could be an experiential learning through the digital era. And another important thing is the design thinking approach. In fact, across the world, in developed countries, in many of the premier institutions, even in India, they've been doing for a long time, but many of our university colleges might not have been looking to design thinking approach. Now a time has come, the design thinking approach is the one, it is an outward looking technique. It has got 5 stages called empathy, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Empathy is going back to the people, society, industry, get the problem, define the problem correctly, give new ideas, do a prototype product, process, or a system, test it, then try to implement it. And it has got a human-centered approach also. Design thinking approach, it has got technology in it, and it has also got a human-centered approach. So design thinking, in fact, in our college, we have already introduced as a 2-credit course. We have created this path in our college, like say design thinking 2 credit in the 2nd year, mini project 3 credits in the 3rd year, 16 credit, 8th semester is full project. For 16 credit, through this, if he takes one problem in the 2nd year, he can continue and he can go up to incubation and startup. That path has been created. So this is for entrepreneurship path, we have created it, but it need not be entrepreneurship. People who go to company also, this path can be followed, because even in companies, you have innovation has to be done. You are an entrepreneur if you are in a company. If you are starting on your, you are an entrepreneur, that's all. So this kind of an approach, if it is possible, according to me, at least 50% of the courses should be mapped like this. Then project-based learning, product-based learning, and problem-based learning is the one we have to compulsory implement if you are trying to invent the whole wheel. If you don't do this way, again, if you look to the rote learning, then it will be very difficult to meet the targets of the new education policy. And engineers are by and large are very poor in these business sectors. They don't understand the business language at all. So somewhere in every course, or somewhere if it is suitable, can you look into, these are in fact McKinsey's classification of business sectors. So you can look into all these sectors are there, because a person who is an electronics engineer may go to consulting. In a banking, he may go because he is good in, let us say, computer science student is good in blockchains. He goes to the finance field, but he doesn't know how a finance field works. A mechanical engineer is supposed to work in semiconductor industry. He doesn't know what the semiconductor industry is all about. So somewhere in our syllabus, if we can include the sectoral studies, maybe overall, it need not be detailed, but if you can look into the sectoral kind of a study, I feel the engineers can be, because their lack of the business knowledge, that can be done through this. And virtual labs, I'll go very quickly. Some of the universities, augmented reality and virtual reality, you can see the kind of tools people have started using. And if you start using this for our engineering education system, we always have a feeling I should always soil the hand. But there are certain places wherein you need a prior training. That could be done through your virtual reality and augmented reality. It could be a robot cell, robot movement. You could put a gadget and try to see how the movement happens, would be one example. Then automation is another. John Hopkins Laboratory for computational sensing and robotics has developed a system for programming and interacting with the industrial robot using a VR interface. So a person is interfacing and operating a robot. So this kind of a thing, this is what I told you. This is Industry 5.0. That means the collaborative kind of a thing with a human and a robot is happening now. Then Purdue researchers are doing some work in the virtual area. Then King South University has created a welding robotic cell based on the layout of a semi-immersive virtual robotic cell. And see, you can see this is a service job actually. Virtual assembly, even a car assembly, all the parts are put it there. You can operate that gadget, put a device for AR VR environment. In fact, these AR VR devices are now becoming very cheap actually. Then you can move in your hand and try to take the chassis, try to take the things, try to take the door, do the assembly. Virtually you can do it. So these kinds of tools are already available. I'm not sure whether we are teaching these things or not. This is what is expected in the industry 4.0 and 5.0 in industries. Then other example could be, let us say Ford reduced production line injuries by 70% using VRC. When you are giving a manual training, some of the things may be very difficult areas to give training. That is where AR, VR, you can see Ford has saved production line injuries by 70%. Even let us say our students in the welding shop, in the CNC machines, in the lathe, all these things, if we can give a training and ask them to do it, then things are going to become all right for them. So AR and VR, as a very important tool in education, I think we should start using it. And then again, the training. Training is given using, in fact, people used to take 2 months, 3 months training, but because of the AR, VR environment, the trainings are given in 1 week, 2 weeks nowadays. So your training time, training cost is also reduced. In fact, if you can bring this kind of a approach in colleges itself, at least in third year and final year, even the training of a welding in a company can be avoided. That's what even industries are looking for. So these are some of the interesting applications which I'm trying to look at. See the chemical industry, the complexities which are there, all those things by Pratt and Whitney train their engineers in a new jet fighter engines, which is possible. Then you can look into the planning and maintenance. He can know where the maintenance has to be done with the augmented and virtual reality environment. So some part of it we have to bring, because in the digital learning, virtual labs is one of the most important things in the whole of the learning. If you do this, at least he will do even the offline laboratories in a better way if you give training in the sophisticated areas. So that is about the some of the examples of the virtual reality environment which you can bring to the education. And everybody is talking about liberal education. NEP advocates that. So what is this liberal education? Liberal education, there are foundation modules. Let us say, I want to solve an India-centric issue. The foundation modules would be evolution of Indian culture and civilization, Indian constitution, history and future, discover India, unraveling the mystery of our Indian ethics. Are we teaching all those things? I'm telling you, if you ask a student, why should I learn IPR? Why should I learn constitution? He says, why it has happened is we have made this as an additive subject. Don't make like that. Somewhere you should try to put it. Let us say, for example, I'll tell you, if somebody is trying to, I think there is one more slide here. Yeah. In this slide, if you can come to know, core liberal art subjects would be the ethics, integrity, then gender equality, aesthetics, appreciation for art and film, social systems and social relationship management, then comparative religions, culture and so all these things somewhere or the other, even in the marketing, sales, doing a product for a particular situation, everything is going to be helpful even for an engineer. So don't look into aesthetic aspect. For example, you take, I don't know how many of the engineers are taught aesthetic subjects in any of the courses. They think it's an architect job, it's a designer job. Actually, it is not. It will be a part of these things. So integrated liberal education means try to integrate the liberal education syllabus as a part of your, don't teach as a separate subject. That's where the people are feeling difficult. Constitution of India, when they're teaching, I think they're feeling different because that's not helpful to me as an engineer. That's their feeling. So if you can integrate that and teach them, let's say other could be cognitive psychology, anthropology. I'll tell you an example beautifully. In one of the American universities, anthropology and anthropometrics are taught. For the disabled, there's a 4-credit course on the anthropometric studies of the disabled. You know who are the people who are taking that subject as a minor? The computer science engineers are taking that, because for the disabled people, they want to develop an app the way they will understand. So then if you don't understand the anthropometry or the disabled people, how their psychology, then you cannot develop a product. So liberal education, if you're trying to integrate, I think they can become a better engineer, according to me. So these are some of the things. Of course, interdisciplinary nature of future technologies would be, I will not go into details. It's only an iceberg. Maybe first revision of the syllabus with new education policy, you can do up to know what all the things I have told. If you want to give some electives, these are the future technologies. Even in the Vision 2035 documents which are given, 5G, cloud computing, mesh networking, then artificial intelligence are already started coming. Then context-aware computing, machine vision is another subject. Then conversion of a speech text to the text speech with the natural language processing. Then internet technologies, MOOCs is already started. IoT has been started. Then simulation modeling technology, gamification concepts, 3D printing. These are all the future technologies which are talking about. And you can see in future, our younger generation will be looking at subjects like this. handheld devices, wearable technologies, volumetric screen that is in the 3D kind of a thing, gesture recognitions, pico projectors, fabric embedded screens, haptic interfaces, skinned. So these are all some of the electives which you can start looking into it. Already some people are giving it, but I feel everywhere it is not available because it needs some skill based, faculty have to be trained, some investment has to be made, all those things will happen. But these technologies are going to be in the common kind of industries in another 5 to 10 years. In here we can see now only the premier industries would be doing all those things. So these are the future technologies which we have to look into. Things like say analytics or photonics, quantum computing, computational photography, modular computers, big data analytics, neuroformatics, informatics, and digital identity of the people. All these things and along with the computational technologies are the other new areas which we talk about. Of course, to do all these things, individually the industries cannot do. You can have an industry institute interface and try to send the faculty, try to send the students, call the industry people into the organizations. I'm sure it is happening, but I'm sure it's all happening at the discrete points of time. It's not on a continuum scale. Can you look into a continuum scale? Let us say one subject on IoT, 50% should be taught by industry expert and 50% by a faculty. I think a student is going to learn things in a better way. That's where the industry institute interface is going to be very much helpful. Many companies are coming forward today to give a lot of things as a part of corporate social responsibility to a lot of equipments, modern equipments to the people. So then we can try to get connected, then things are going to become easy. And industry, this blame game, no? Academics blaming industry, industry blaming academics will not be there. We have to get married actually, if you want our learning to be more effective. Because at the end of the day, industry is my customer for my student. So obviously I have to take care of the needs of the industries also. And then, so finally, let me tell you, connecting the dots is very important. So these dots, let us say critical thinking skills incorporating in the liberal arts, then having a focused way of hackathons, makeathons, ideathons, coffee hours with students, some universities does, CSO speaks, virtual internships, research-based learning, metacognitive skills, and crediting the online courses, then list goes on and on. So teaching and learning through head, heart, and mind, not fully online. We all accept that full online is not possible in engineering. But wherever it is possible, you make it online. Otherwise, the one-to-one correspondence becomes very, very important. So connecting the dots of the environmental scan things, liberal education, technical education with the future technologies. I think these are the connection of the dots have to be done by us. And it is not a very easy job. It is totally a Herculean task. All the people in the college, the faculty, other stakeholders have to involve to make these things happen. Research and innovation is my last way which you try to look into it, because they talk about interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary nature. This slide is going to tell you that whenever we are doing a research, go back, people who have done PhDs can look into it. On the x-axis is the social relevance, on the y-axis it is adding to the body of knowledge. So if both are positive, I think body of knowledge is adding, social relevance, that's where they say Archimedes plus plus. Then social relevance is there, body of knowledge, because Thomas Alva Edison did a bulb with experimentation, then it became theory. Then we say about it. So that is on this line. And Einstein, totally conceptual and knowledge-wise, but the social relevance, people have started looking into it now, like hyperloops and things of that sort. But all the other research is in this quadrant where it is minus, is not adding value to the society, nor is not adding to the concept. So in the research, we have to keep this in mind if it had to be more relevant research. In fact, any Nobel laureates you take, for example, they come under these plus categories. Conceptually, if it is minus plus, if it's totally relevant, it is plus minus. But all the other researchers, what we take about your journal publications, PhDs, whatever you do, majority come under this minus category, which will not add value according to me. So let us try to look into, when we are even guiding the research scholars, please look into this slide and try to do it. And of course, I have told you, even though it's a student-centric education, I think faculty core competences are very important. When we are appointing a faculty, are we looking into all these domain? We may look, he has done some MTech and PhD in one area, but technology applications, training and facilitation, professionalism and work ethics, critical thinking and problem solving, oral and written communication. These are all the must competitions, must qualities which they need for becoming a good faculty. If you don't look into this, then we will not be producing good engineers. Apart from that, they are supposed to have a lot of other skills also related. Whatever we are talking for a student, in fact, teacher is a lifelong learner. So he's a student of the life. Obviously, these skills from time to time, you have to try to look into this also. So how we in the new education policy, they expect put a lot of pressure on the faculty members. But if you don't try to develop all these things, obviously we cannot deliver the things whatever I've told previously. So let us try to look into it and try to develop an interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary culture, research culture in the organizations. You identify the thematic area, assign an interdisciplinary team for that, then give a lot of training for them, then looking into mentoring them through experts in the field, either from the research area or from the industries, then execute the projects wherein publication, prototype, patents are going to happen, then slowly convert that into an incubation, startup, commercialization, revenue generation for sustainability. And then that's the way the cycle continues. So if somebody is talking about the excellence, that is, in fact, even the national education policy, you move towards starting from an autonomous institution, go into a research institution, then go to Meru, which is the highest level, multidisciplinary nature. You have all the things in the university. I'm sure this is going to be helpful. If you go in this direction, you can reach Meru in a better, faster pace than going in a conventional way. So this is about the research one, and entrepreneurship development. I'm sure all of you know about it. This other part, I think, should be a part is not just teaching the education. We are supposed to do a lot of things, because at the end of the day, we are supposed to train. I told you, phase one would be design thinking, phase two would be product building, then testing, then going back and looking into the marketing aspect, then bringing the product into the market. If we can try to, I am sure that out of 100 students, I don't think everybody goes for startup. It will be only 10 students, 20 students if they go. Can they follow this path? The students who don't go also, if they learn this, the chance of getting better employment would be there. The chance of doing in the industry for them also is very good. So don't think this path is only for the people who want to start startup. Actually, for an engineer, actually this diagram is very, very important. At the end of 4 years or 5 years or 6 years, if he's in a position to do this, I think he'll be the best person. I am sure that the policies, what has been said, would be very much helpful. And out of this national education policy, the expected outcomes are employment potential to improve, better accreditation ranking at national and international levels, holistic education rather than education in silos for better living, then enhancing publications, patents, building incubation centers in the startups, deliverables in terms which are India-centric products or Indian products sold outside, a product process or a system, contribution to the sustainable growth of the nation, inculcating national, this is very important. I think there's a lot of focus, building the nationalism, nationalistic spirit, and bringing a made in India culture among the younger generation. And finally, to make India as international knowledge hub and a superpower. So this is what is the outcome which is expected. It's a long and a very high ambition which has been set by the Knowledge Commission, I mean the National Education Policy. I hope if we start doing it, I think nothing is impossible according to me. Somebody is telling sky is the limit. Somebody else says sky is not the limit. I think this comes under the sky is not the limit. So I hope the purpose of my seminar has been served, but we are taking a baby step. So my favorite statement of Robert Frost, the woods are lovely, dark and deep. Everything is there now, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. That means a long way to go, but that long way cannot be too long because somebody else will do that. So let us also keep a time frame in whatever the activities we do. Quickly, within 2 to 3 years, we should be in a position to at least implement 40 to 50% of what we talked about today. And maybe in another 8 to 9 years, if we have got a good strategic map, I think we can try to meet all those things. So with this, I'm going to stop my speech. I think I've taken a little bit more time than given, but I wanted to convey random thoughts like this. And once again, I thank all the organizers for giving me this permission to share my thoughts and inviting me here. Once again, thank my colleague Radhakrishna, who is the head of the Civil Engineering Department. He approached me and I immediately accepted because I will also be improving through this so that we can also improve our college by getting the feedback from the others in the society. So with this, once again, thanking all of you. I think now let us take some questions, whatever is there. I'm sure that I cannot answer all the questions.
Yes.
New education policy has come just now. I'm sure that we may not have answers for all the things, but over a period of time, maybe 3 months, 6 months, you go on talking about this, then we'll get answers for many of the things. Thank you very much once again. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for thought-provoking talk. I think we can start thinking how to implement NEP in technical education. Before I go to questions, we recognize the presence of Dr. Sudhakar Naik, who is the founder, registrar of Vishweshwara Technological University, Belagavi. Welcome, sir. Thank you for coming online. We could not join in the beginning due to some technical difficulties. Sir, I'll start asking questions. Kindly answer these if possible. The first question is from Philippines, sir. Tu Tin Sun Min, I don't know he or she, what is the best way of learning during pandemic situation? You have partly answered this question. Can you throw more light on it?
So as I've already told you, the best way to learn as of now, at least we are doing 70 to 80% online. But as we know, engineers we have to make things. So when you want to make things, physical presence would be there. In fact, already even our governments have told, and people have started coming to colleges to do the physical labs. So I feel in the pandemic, if you are not at all a position to come back to the things, we should look at even the virtual labs also. Virtual labs is not showing a video of whatever experiment is done in the class. Actually, virtual lab concepts is different. There are few companies in the world who are doing it. So I feel you can look into the virtual lab along with the online teaching learning. Then that will be the, as a big, this is a phenomenon which may not be there for a long time. So I think this would be sufficient.
The next question is from Dr. Bharti Ganesh, who is head of the Department of Civil Engineering at NITE Meenakshi. What are the financial implications to update the infrastructure with respect to the faculty, lab, etc., sir?
See, let me tell you, faculty updation today, not much of financials are needed because many things are online in nature, is point number one. Point number two is definitely there are some companies under their CSR are ready to come back to the college and invest. So that is other thing. So these are some of the ways where the finance will not be there. But at the same time, I feel if you want to go to the higher plane of reference, definitely money has to be invested. At least can you keep for equipments in your college 5 crores every year for the next 3 to 4 years, then it is possible for you to go to the higher level. So definitely there is a financial implication, but not as much as we think. So because there are a lot of other ways you can do, revenue generation can be done, can be joined with the companies and then try to get some equipments. Then you also start investing it.
Yeah, so, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, there is one more question. How to implement getting 4 Cs, 5 Cs and 6 Cs? I don't know what are the Cs. C. How to implement getting 4 Cs, 5 Cs and 6 Cs? They have typed.
Actually, 4 Cs is what I have told in the 21st century skills. So there are 4 Cs under that. So these are all communications, collaborations. You can go on adding for Cs there. Okay. But what I say is not the question of implementing. Let us say if I talk about collaboration, is not just collaborating with the industry or giving the students. I feel these things could be done as a part of the syllabus, as a part of our regular learning. It has to be done. Don't take it as an exercise. I think that's what we are trying to do. I told you it's additive. It should become interactive. That is my answer.
Okay. So one more question. A similar question from Dr. Gangadhar Huar and Dr. Siddhalingesh. What changes do you expect from technical education institutions to implement quickly, including financial assistance?
Financial, I told you that I did not talk on administration at all today. I talked only about the academics and the research. I'm very, very clear because I'm talking to the faculty. If I want to talk to the administration part of it, we need the management and the other stakeholders also. Otherwise, it's not possible.
Yes.
You can always try to organize for the administrator separately because the implications are something different. So, but the academics and the research is the one which will take more time. Let us say your management gives 10 crores today. But are you ready with doing these things? Because we need more time. So it's better we start doing faster. Then automatically you can look into the financial part of it.
So our next question is, so there is no explicit mention of IITs, ITIs, polytechnics and engineering colleges in document of NEP. What is the fate of new old polytechnics and engineering? How do we club and implement this NEP?
So see, obviously you know that there is something called the vocational training, which has been already there in the new education policy. And there is also skill levels, which government of India has set, level 1 to level 10. So if you are under polytechnic, you're under ITI, you're in 2 levels. So like this. But what I feel is the polytechnic people have to improve a lot on the infrastructure as well as the faculty position. If you improve, we can, in fact, there's a lot of need for the skill development today. Diploma and polytechnic college have to play more role than an engineering college, according to me. There's a lot of scope, sir. But I think as a total system, people have to work together.
Okay, sir. Maybe the last question. How do we distinguish academic research and academic and research institutions based on the current situation?
See, typically what happens is if you take any majority of the institutions in the country are academic institutions where we are giving the mass education and you are looking only for the employment. So there are next level institutions where academics already maturity has come. Now they are looking into a lot of research activities. That's a second level institution. And there are the institutions like say IISc, all those people who are totally research in nature. So first is academic, make the base foundation very strong, because for some more time we have to, for our funding, we have to depend on the fees of the student only. Suddenly the research fundings will not come to us, because we have to become more competitive or let's say knowledge oriented if you want to get good research works. So first would be the academics, then slowly try to look into those areas and move to the next level. Jumping into the research level directly, I think people would already have a credentials. Otherwise, it's very difficult to go there.
So there is one question from Alamgir from Pakistan. He is asking how to convince whole system for collaboration and practice for all discussed practicals in symmetry to get the ideal situation. I think you have partly answered this question in your talk.
Yeah, let me tell you, sir, I have already told you, collaboration happens if there is actually, there are good points in the institutions also. See, why an industry has to collaborate if nothing is there in an organization or an institution? Because they're in business. So obviously, we should first try to, even before going for collaboration, we should establish our things in the academics and in the research. Then the collaboration will happen. Otherwise, collaboration will never happen. So it is not that I expect only from that person, but I don't have anything, that will not happen. So, but ideal system doesn't exist, sir, let me tell you. We have to look at the practical systems, but over a period of time, it is going to happen. Collaboration will definitely happen.
Yeah. So thank you. There are no questions. Participants, please keep asking questions in the mail to SVAK. We'll forward those questions to the speaker. Later on, we'll get the answers. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for it. Was very informative. In fact, in the chat, we are getting a lot of appreciation from the foreign countries also. It was very informative, useful, both faculty and students, and some management people also have appreciated your tag. Thank you very much. So before going to the presidential address, I request Dr. Sudhakar Naik to address the gathering, please. Dr. Sudhakar Naik is our mentor and founder, registrar of Vishweshwar Technological University, Karnataka. Over to you, sir. Please unmute yourself and please address, sir. Dr. Sudhakar Naik, please. Hello? Dr. Sudhakar Naik, please. Okay, there is some technical issues. Okay, we'll wait for 1 minute. Yeah.
You can go ahead with other things.
Okay.
If sir comes, we'll ask him to speak.
Okay.
Let us invite Dr. Basaraj.
Yeah. Yeah. So I request today's president of the program, Dr. Basaraj Bandkar, who is a Registered Administration, Davangere University, to address the gathering, to give the presidential address, please. Over to you, sir, Dr. Basaraj.
Okay. Okay. Can I have 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes?
Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah.
Okay. Respected speaker today, Dr. K.N. Subramanyam and Ramesh, SVAK Secretary, and Radhakrishna, Joint Secretary and also faculty of RV, and Sudhakar Naik, founder V Register, and all participants. Good evening, all. Really, it's a privilege for me to address you all on this occasion. I'm audible. I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Really, how the presentation went on from Professor K.N. Subramanya, it was an excellent, sir. Excellent input you have given regarding planning and implementation of NEP in technical institutions. What I feel is it's not only required in technical institutions, it's also required in other institutions also. See, the way the presented his presentation, the environmental scanning for the planning and implementation, outcome-based education, the building blocks is explained, and academic and research development, and required of technical and non-technical, what are the things are required, and what are the grand challenges we have, and next, what are the sustainabilities are required, and what is education 4.0, 5.0. And sometimes we can say thanks to COVID, because so many disadvantages are there. Lot of things we have faced, the difficulties. At the same time, it is able to connect the top people, the knowledge people across the world. See, it is very difficult. For example, if at all somebody is required from the USA, from UN, it is difficult to bring them here. Now, the COVID has made us very easier. See, the professor, we have conducted so many lectures in our university across the globe. Okay, that was possible because of the, though no that is, finance is required in this regard. So many knowledge people have from across, from Texas A&M, from across some from even Canada, so many people, and Malaysia were able to connect because of this COVID. Otherwise, it would have been difficult. See, one thing we can say in this way, and also we have made it that is digitalization is very easy for us. That is, in the 21st century, how he is represented, what is required: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and these are all the things he taught excellent way. What are the life skills are required, and then how we can go ahead with the multidisciplinary. See, I wanted to conclude in such a way that some of the points which is required along with the Professor Subramanyam, I am going to say some of the points. See, nowadays you can take an engineering or non-engineering. See, what the NEP, that is National Education Policies, in this the main important is multiple entry and multiple exit scheme that's supposed to be implemented. So what the professor told, along with some of the syllabus and all the how that is experimentation theory and all the taught. See, what I wanted to say here is that is multiple every, that is maybe engineering you take or non-engineering. Okay, we have to include multiple entry and multiple exit scheme. So, for example, somebody have joined for engineering. After completion of 1 year, some challenges come, he left. So we have to give the degree for him as per the subject he studied. Okay, and what the experiment he has done, he can join for some job. That's the way the certificate is supposed to be there. And again, that is what is the things are improved for him. Maybe economically you take, or maybe health challenges you take, whatever the conditions. If at all is improved after 1 year, let him come back and join for that. So that multiple entry and multiple exit schemes supposed to be there. That is we are implemented in our university. So around 5 courses we applied for UGC. We have got 5 courses that is sanctioned. We are going to implement, that is 5 courses in our university already. That is the courses are diploma in digital arts. So what is the things are required for them? So what are the things, prerequisites are there that we are given very clearly. This is from the National Skill Qualifications Framework, UGC NSQF. Under that, we have got 5 subjects is sanctioned. Number 1, that is digital in, that is, diploma in digital arts, and Bachelor of Vocational course in retail management and information technology. This will be run by management, and PG diploma in clinical diets and applied nutrition. This is done by microbiology and some other science departments, and PG diploma in digital media. This is done by computer science department, and master of vocational courses in cyber security. This also run by computer science department. See, what we have done here is, if the person is continued for 6 months, we are going to give certificate. If his person is completed for 1 year, he is going to get diploma certificate, and he get 3 years, he is able to stay. Okay, and he will get a degree certificate. And if at all in between he goes, and again he can come back. Multiple entry and multiple exit scheme supposed to improve, that is implement in engineering also. So that will be beautiful structure, so that he should not feel, maybe whether engineering or non-engineering, he should feel, okay, I got something certificate. So that with I think we have seen so many students, see, they are having a lot of knowledge and they are not able to join for some job because of the degree. That should not stop him. Okay, because lot of talent is there. Maybe after 1 year, his talent that is sufficient for him to join somewhere and he can earn. So again, maybe his financial conditions and are improved, and again he can he can continue in that itself. Otherwise, he can come back and join. So that is very, very essential in India. And another one thing I wanted to say, and that is, interdisciplinary. See, what we can do is, after coming some study some of the subjects, we can pose to the students some questions, or maybe innovative, that is culture we have to implement to the students. So what I did as a principal in one of the, that is, Geetam University and some of the, university, what we have done, we have sent a letter to the students across all the students, whatever the ideas you have, okay, you submit it. Okay, they have submitted an idea. Okay, different ideas they have submitted. We thought of it may complete in one day. It has gone 3 days, and they are able to submit around 64 projects, different projects. We have encouraged in such a way that we have, that is, embedded the students in different branches. Maybe one from ECE, one from computer science, one from electrical, and depending on the concepts we have taken, according to that, we have trained them. So finally, they are able to do around, filter them, around 20 projects we have submitted. We have got the funding from the center, and all the students, they have done innovative projects, excellent innovative projects, and we are able to incubate into the market. That's the way we have to encourage the students, that is in a interdisciplinary. Okay, and we have to, that is, throw a subject in such a way that every student can have, that is, dual degree he can have. For example, main subject is in electrical engineering, and he may get, that is one, that is, degree in computer science engineering. We have to throw a subject in such a way that, he is studying a regular subject. Along with that, we have to put one computer science subject in each semester, so that he can attend whatever the subject he is attending, that is computer science teachers are taking, he has to go there and attend. Okay, and again, next semester one subject. By the end of the 4 year, he is supposed to get 6 or 8 subjects, so that he will be the computer science main degree in computer science, that is electrical engineering, and dual degree in computer science engineering. So that we are seeing so many students now, he is completing mechanical engineering and he is going to the software. So he is not able to fulfill what he has studied. And always it is there in the pricking in his mind, I am not justifying my subject. That should not happen. See, every student, sometimes they are forcibly they go to take the subject, because they may not get, what the subject is required. So once, if you implement this, definitely the students will be happy, and whatever he is having an interest, he can learn. That can be thrown across the, across India in every university. That will be great advice. That is, useful for the student. See, and at the same time, what I want to say to the, that is, faculty members, they should not feel, I think, so many teachers are thinking that is my subject, mine is only teaching. That is, the days were gone. Now, we have to be, along with the teaching, we have to update as according to the present situation. Otherwise, it cannot be survived. What is going on? That is nowadays, that is online courses are going on. How we can make the online classes effective? We are seeing the so many students, just they switch on the, that is whatever the mobile and all, they go out. And what best method we can implement for the students, they can learn. And this is the way, and whatever the, maybe some of the, experimentals also. So how we can make it experimental? So this is the way, and examination system, evaluation system. See, we have to evaluate in the such a student. Maybe it should not be a strict rules and regulations. We should evaluate a student in such a way that he should learn something. Okay, and that can be filed properly. What we, whatever the, that is committee comes and asks, and and finally the student should learn. I am learned something. That's the way the feeling should be there. That's the way the student, faculty should learn always what is going on in present. And at the same time, counseling is very, very important at this time. And we have to customize the student as per interest. I think as we are seeing some of the foreign universities, the student, what the student comes after counseling, what is interest. As per his interest, we are setting the syllabus. That's the way, that is, some of the peculiar cases, we have to do that also. That's also very, very important. And another thing I wanted to say for the research scholars, they see PhD means we should not say that is doing something great thing. See, which is useful for the society. And maybe 10, 15, one village it is useful, that we can call it as a research. That's the way some of the faculty members can do their research and whatever the publications and all the things. So this is what I wanted to say. So I can say it is, so collaboration across, maybe some questions from Pakistan, as we are told. see how the collaboration is going on across the department, maybe across the university, across the country also supposed to go. Nowadays, thanks to government of India, how they are supporting and that is felicitating us, maybe skill development programs, whatever the things they are implementing, lot of that is that is motivations are there. Only the faculty members are there. They must have a patience to sit in front of the system, explore what the government is doing for us, and we have to reciprocate properly. Definitely, we can make that is this NEP program. I think somebody told so many NEPs are went on. It is required. So many still we are supposed to have number of NEPs because maybe one or two. This is a new thing we are introducing. Maybe you take in primary education, you take higher education, you take that is number of that is NEPs. That is this type of program supposed to go. Thanks to Ramesh for arranging this excellent event. So this is supposed to percolate to the every. Now there was some resistance. Now slowly that resistance is going. So like this number of programs we supposed to conduct, so that it's supposed to be percolate. Every member supposed to be understand. He's supposed to be implemented at the earliest. So how we understand clearly, so that this is a beautiful system. Thanks to Narendra Modi and government of India, how that is implemented. That is this is introduced. So many members are introduced. That is done. That is NEP. How the system and all vision and all the things. We have to be everybody. That is maybe universities and SVEK. There are so many programs supposed to conduct. Let us make this supposed to be useful to the that is present around 35 years. Things are changing now. So it requires maybe 3-4 years from down. So definitely we can make it. This is a beautiful system we have. So we have to introduce this NEP in every universities or maybe primaries or maybe higher education. With this, thanks to Ramesh for giving this opportunity. I hope what some points I thrown now. Yeah. If still you have any questions, you can ask me. Thank you very much once again.
Sir, thank you very much, Basara sir, for your presidential remarks. Over to Sri Govinda HK, State Organizing Secretary, Swadeshi Vijnana Andolana, Karnataka, for vote of thanks, please.
Thank you, sir.
Over to Govinda.
Thank you, sir. Hello, namaskara. Good evening to one and all. It gives me an immense pleasure to take this great opportunity to propose vote of thanks on this memorable event. On behalf of Swadeshi Vijnana Karnataka, it's honored to propose vote of thanks to Dr. Subramanya sir, Principal RV College of Engineering, Bengaluru, who spared the time from his busy schedule. Really, you are enlightened us, sir, with your excellent session. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Professor H.V. Sudhakar Naik, sir, founder, Registrar, Vishweshwara Technical University, Belagavi. Thank you, sir. My special regards and heartfelt thanks to Dr. Baswaraj Banakar, sir, who presided over this webinar. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
I would further extend a hearty thanks to our beloved General Secretary, Shri H. Ramesh, who is backbone of our Swadeshi Vijnana Andolana Karnataka. Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to my dear Dr. Radhakrishna sir, who moderated the session smoothly and successfully. Thank you so much, sir.
Dhanyawad. Thank you.
I also like to thank Dr. Umesh, Dr. Shivanna, Dr. H.S. Prakash sir, all our SWAC executive committee members, life members, colleague friends, students for their support and encouragement.
So, one thing I am requesting.
Yeah.
My
Baswaraj,
requesting to share this PP to everybody. That was an excellent PP.
To be live with us and attended the webinar with great enthusiasm, made this successful event. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you, Govinda. Also, this recording will be available online in YouTube also, and we are ready to send the link to all the participants. Thank you very much. Thank you, speaker. Thank you, the president and all VIPs coming here, participants from all over the world. Thank you very much. Have good night. Shubharatri.
ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಸರ್. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ವಿಭಿನ್ನ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ರಾಧಾಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಸವರಾಜ್ ಬಣಕರ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ರಮೇಶ್, ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್, ರಿಯಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ಸರ್, ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಚೇಂಬರ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ವಿ. ರಮೇಶ್ ಸರ್, ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದಾವಣಗೆರೆಗೆ
ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್.
ಸರ್ ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ, ನಾನು ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ನಾಯಕ್ ಸರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅವರು ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ
ಮಾಡಿ,
ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಫೌಂಡರ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್.
ಯಾ ವಿಟಿಯು, ಎಸ್.
ಅವ್ರು ಇದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಂದ ಈ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಫೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಫೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ?
ಅಲ್ಲ
ಲೈವ್. ಎಸ್ ಬಂದ್ರು.
Are you able to listen to me now?
Yes sir, please. Thank you.
No. One correction I would like to suggest first. You make, instead of founder, make it as former registrar, because I
okay.
founder registrar. Okay, it should be same word, slightly changes the spelling. So instead of founder, you make it former. That's
okay,
fine.
sir.
I am basically from Surathkal Engineering College, NITK.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So I was on deputation and I was there for 2 years, and of course I must have done good work and streamlined. That is fine.
Yes, sir.
Great sir, really great sir.
So one thing. Second thing is you please see that the YouTube material is available to all, or send the link to everyone.
Correct.
So it will be done, sir. It will be done. Definitely it will be done, sir. Thank you for your feedback.
Right.
Suggestion, sir.
Okay. Right, fine.
ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ನಾಯಕ್ ಸರ್, ಆರೋಗ್ಯವಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್?
ಆರೋಗ್ಯವಾಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಯಾ
ಸುಧಾಕರ್
ರೈಟ್. ಓಕೆ ಫೈನ್.
ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯ ಸರ್, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಾ?
ದರ್ಶನ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ.
We wanted to see you sir.
ದರ್ಶನ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಕಾಯ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
Inspiration for us.
ಬಂತಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರೇ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಅಷ್ಟೇನಾ? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಡೀರಿ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ.
ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಐಕಾನ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಹೌದು, ಅದು ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಪೂರ್ ಇನ್ ಆಪರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದೀಸ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ಸ್.
That's okay sir.
ಕ್ಯಾಮರಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ.
ಒಂದು ಕೆಂಪು ಗೇಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಅದನ್ನ
ಹೌದು ಅದನ್ನ ತೆಗ್ದೇನೆ.
ಈಗ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಆಯ್ತು.
Okay sir. Very good sir, very good.
Nice to see you.
I am fine. ನಂತರ ಐ ವುಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯಂ, ಇದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹಲೋ, ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯಂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವರು
ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಅವರು.
ಒಂದು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ STP ಅಂತ, ಇದು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, AICT ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಕರೆದು ಒಂದು ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಒಂದು ವಾರ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಅಸಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಯಲಿ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ವರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ 1 week ಟು ಫುಲಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್. ಅದರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ವರ್ಕ್ಶಾಪ್ ತರ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಟೀಚರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ we get many teachers including me, I am basically a teacher, we get confused. Say for example, people you misuse program and subject course ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಚೆಗಿಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗಿ ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯಂ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಆವಾಗ ಟೀಚರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಅದು ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಖಂಡಿತ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ.
This is my request, if it could be done.
I'll take your suggestion and we'll do it, sir, definitely.
Yeah, because I know my another thing about Bankar's talk. I would like to say that Professor Reddy, who had already given a lecture in RV College, which I am aware of, he had prepared a draft and sent it to very short communication, sent it to Kasturi Rangan and also the Honorable Minister for Education in the central government, Minister of Education. He has sent it. What should be done with the engineering, the colleges or engineering education rather. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರೆದು ಕಳಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಪ್ರಿಶಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಿಳಿಸಿ ನಮಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್. Already in this direction some work has already been done.
Okay, that's great.
You can Professor Subramanyam can talk to
yes sir, yes
Balvi Reddy and then find out from him.
Balive Reddy
he had already replied, got a reply from Kasturi Rangan. ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ.
ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ಗೆ.
ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ರಂಗನ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಗಳು ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಡನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಲಿಬರಲ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ಅಂತದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ I was also in communication with Professor Balveer Reddy regularly. I know this.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Sir, thank you very much. Wonderful lecture. ಆದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇದೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅದರದ್ದು.
1 hour ಸಾಲ್ ಸರ್, 1 or 2 hours ಸಾಲ್ದು ಇವತ್ತು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ.
ಓವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಈಗ ಇವರು ಯಾವ ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕೋರ್ಸು, ಈಗ ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಅದು ಎಂತಪ್ಪ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ABC ಅದರದ್ದು ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಉಂಟು. ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೊವಿಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ NEP, ಅದು ಉಂಟು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕೊಡೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಂಟು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. Those things are known, but what Professor Subramanyam has said, it's really it's an eye opener for a teacher who are old timers. And then ಅದನ್ನು ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಹಳಬರ ತಲೆ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೊಸಬ್ರು ಹೇಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದೊಂದು. ನನ್ಗೆ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಐ ಫೆಲ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಸಮ್ಥಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಲೋಲಿ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ನಿಂದ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಶುಭರಾತ್ರಿ, ಗುಡ್ ನೈಟ್ ಆಲ್.
ರೈಟ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ರೈಟ್,
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ರಮೇಶ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸುಧಾಕರ್ ಸರ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ರಮೇಶ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಬಾಯ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಬರಂಗಡ್ ಸರ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಸರ್
ಹೇಳಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ?
ಎಸ್.